Welcome to another segment of SII Motivational Minutes with your host, Dwight Lee. And on this segment, we're going to be discussing Prosperity, a book by Charles Fillmore. Now, this is a book that's incredible, and it talks about prosperity. He has an amazing prayer that he developed from Psalm 23. I'm sure everyone's familiar with that psalm or have heard of it, but I want to just cover a couple things. In Romans, it talks about how faith comes. So faith comes by hearing, you know, so hearing the word on any specific topic. That's how you're going to get it into your programming and then get it into your experience. So this book by Charles Fillmore is a very powerful book. I remember I first came across this book, I think somewhere around, I heard about it in 89. I think I had an uncle that had the book. And then I think I actually got my own personal copy around 1996. It's an amazing book, and I highly recommend it to everyone. But so faith comes by hearing. So you have to hear the word on something or a subject, before you can establish a belief for it. And you have to believe it first, in your head before you hold it in your hand. So all kinds of things are being taught about prosperity. It's wrong, it's evil, it's this, it's that, and the other. I always say the most successful people are the ones that conduct the most experiments. So I'll say, don't take my word for it. Don't take any coach or teacher, influencer's word for it. You need to get in there and read it for yourself and see what you can extrapolate from the reading. Do a book summary for yourself to see what you've learned, what you've grasped, and what you can integrate, appropriate, and implement to improve conditions of your life. That's what it's about. So, in Psalm 23, it talks about the Lord being your shepherd and that you shall not want. That implies and that suggests to me that, abundance, prosperity, wealth, riches, opulence, extravagance is all available to whosoever. It's law. But when you're talking about prosperity, and it doesn't just mean money, but it does include money, it's available to everyone. And it's really, two stories. It's the absence of it, and it's the presence of prosperity. So you have to, align your thinking around prosperity. What do you think about prosperity? Do you think it's good or bad? Do you think it's accurate or inaccurate? Do you think it's positive or negative? That's where you start. And then you say, why do you think that way? If you think it's negative, why do you think it's negative? And just study it out and prove it, prove it, prove it to yourself whether it's negative. If you get to the end and you discover that it's not negative, that's good for you. Then you know that it's positive, and then that means that you should desire it. You should require it. You should aspire to have it. And that's what it's about. And so he said, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, So he's saying in this prayer that, enough is available, more than enough is available, and an unmeasurable amount is available of any type of prosperity. Harmonious relationship is prosperity. Harmony on your job and being considered for opportunities for advancement and pay raises, so on and so forth. That's prosperity. Harmonious relationships with your parents and your siblings. That's not having to experience stress around family relationships. That's a form of prosperity. The way you dress, that's a form of prosperity. What you drive, that's a form of prosperity. How you eat, the quality of food that you eat, that's a form of prosperity. The schools that your children go to, that's a form of prosperity. The community that you live in, that's a form of prosperity. So You can't just assume that prosperity only means money, and you have all these erroneous beliefs and thoughts and stories about money. Um, you know, if you study this book by Charles Fillmore about prosperity, you'll see that he wants you to participate in giving, giving of time, giving of talent, giving of treasure, and that you will reap benefits and rewards from that, and that there's nothing wrong with that, that it's in alignment, it's congruent with spiritual law of compensation and natural law of compensation. So he's breaking it down, detail by detail. And then, when you give, it gives you the feeling of abundance. And the way that you attract abundance is by getting a hold of the feeling. We've been taught that you have to do something on the outside, hard work consciousness, and so on and so forth. But Napoleon Hill told you in Think and Grow Rich, when riches come, in lump sums or large amounts, very seldom do they come by hard work. So feeling, according to Neville, is the secret. So when you give, you experience the feeling of abundance, and you know what that feels like. So you just conjure up the feeling. You create an imaginal act. You script it. You do your recording that you listen to, and with the understanding that if you dwell in the wish fulfilled and you keep dwelling in the wish fulfilled, you accept it, it's going to manifest for you. You're in a 3D world. There may be a time delay, because time is a construct, but it will show up for you, and it'll show up for anyone. It's a principle. Principle works for all people in all places at all times. That's what he's breaking down for you. Charles Fillmore. I highly, highly recommend this book, and I'll leave you with these tips. If it's money that you seek, you must get around those without envy, that know how to make it, that know how to keep it, that know how to invest it, and that have the ability to enjoy it. Being in that company will give you some reference experience, and so that you can feel it real and be able to feel into it, and work on manifesting it for yourself, because it is possible. It's available for you. It's your birthright. And, abundance is not just money, but it does include money. Don't be afraid of money. Money can be used to do a lot of good. It can be used for positive and negative. In and of itself, it has no power. It has no life. You breathe life into it when you make a choice to circulate it. We've been live on the SII Motivational Minutes with your host, Dwight Lee. Until the next episode, I'll leave you with this quote, an Irish proverb: money swore by you that unless you loved her, you would never possess it. Irish proverb. Thank you.